Hey guys, Director Holly Cleese here with Mandy Jarvie, director from California. I'm from Oregon. You guys know us by now, that's for sure, or you should at least. We're excited to be on this call with you guys today. Today is call number 5 out of 7. We are halfway through the month and super excited to touch base with everybody and see what's going on. So is it just Mandy and I that are screen share or that are on the video then? Anybody else want to be on video with us? Would love it. Makes it more fun. There's Christine. There's Carrie. Yay! Awesome.
I will be.
I love seeing faces.
I have contractors here, so I'll be in and out. But I am. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Very good. Okay. We have Jamie, and then who's 404 that just joined?
That's me. This is Cindy Wesley in Atlanta. I'm on the phone because I have to leave in a little bit to go to the bus stop. So
okay,
that's why I'm in.
Fantastic. Glad you can join us. And hey, Christine from Chicago. How are you? Cold. Cold. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Mandy and I love these calls. We love talking before the call and kind of seeing, what would be the best thing for everybody and kind of where we're at and what we have going on, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to go ahead and just jump on in here. And first of all, huge congrats to everybody. This was our first full month of month 1 of LIT, getting going and making your numbers. So we are really thrilled to see that everybody's still in the game, that you're being positive, and we hope that you're reaching out to your leader if you need specific help on stuff, if you're feeling discouraged at all, which there's months, you guys, I'll be honest, I'm a senior director with the company, and there's months where it's just not a great month for me, and I'm like, okay, I really need to step back and reevaluate stuff and what I'm doing. So I'm going to be the bearer of the bad news here. That does not go away. That's like with any business though. Like if you own a business, you have a store, let's say, every month is not perfect. Every month is not a growth month, but every month is a great opportunity for a learning month. And for us, when you know better, you do better. So the main topic of this call is recruiting for our call number 5. But what we want to start with is what's some wins? What are people experiencing that's working well for you? I know that Cindy, you just sponsored somebody, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yes, I just called her up yesterday, and she was supposed to host for me on the 28th of January. And I explained to her that if she became a rep, how much money she'd make and how much free products she'd get. And so she signed up.
Good for you. That's fantastic. So what was that? I know we all have a little bit of a fear when we go to do that. So tell me how did you get past that? Like, what was that thing that when I'm doing it, I'm doing it scared?
Well, I've heard, these calls and a lot of training, and somewhere along the lines, or maybe it was Monica, my upline, said, sometimes I go to a workshop, and if I get 2 or 3 bookings, I offer the hostess to be a rep and take the business for herself. And I thought, and she had this hostess had a Facebook event. She was a past Beachbody coach. She does some other direct marketing. So I just called her, and I don't even know her, never met her. She just put out on Facebook, hey, anybody know a Wild Tree rep? So she had seen one of my customers and hostesses post a meal that she made and mentioned Wild Tree. And she was like, how do I get hooked up with this Wild Tree thing? And she went to the map and couldn't find anyone. So I'm trying to get on the map. But I just thought, I don't even know her, so I have nothing to lose. So, and she's been very responsive. Some people you have to call them 10, 12 times before they call you back. She's been very responsive to me. So I just called her and I said, hey, I know on Facebook you're kind of an entrepreneur, and I would feel really bad after the fact if you found that out and go, gosh, I wish I'd have known that, So I said, I'm not putting any pressure on you. I'm just throwing it out there and just wanted to mention it. And she's like, okay, send me some information by email and let me talk to my husband. I'll get back to you. And like 3 hours later, I got an email from corporate. Congrats on your new recruit. I was like, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So tell us what you sent her via email.
I sent her there's a flyer in Tools called the, oh gosh, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Is it the Build a Legacy one?
Yeah, it was just a one page, and then I crunched some numbers, and because she had a Facebook event set up for her workshop, and she had 8 people that were interested. So I said, if these 8 people come, here's how much money you'd make, and here's how much free products you'd make, and if you got a little bit more and did $1,000, this is how, you know, you get $500 in free products and $290 in commission. So I kind of did some math for her, and sent her the website and sent her the one page promo. I just sent her to the where you click on the page that says join, you know, and so she took a look at it and decided to do it. So
Fantastic.
hopefully it'll be a good recruit.
Good for you. I love that. I love people that make decisions so quickly. I wish everybody did that. The right
I
decision.
know, right?
That's great. Christine's shaking her head. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. I love how you, the thing that that really stood out to me was saying, I'd hate for you to find out after the fact. That's so important. Like, I'm doing this for you. I'm telling you about this for you because I don't want you to miss out on something. Well done. Good job. Good job. That's fantastic. Very, very fun. And now the thing about her launch party that is so cool. I love being at someone else's house helping them because it's so easy for me to ask every single person to book a party to help the host. So during the party, saying, you guys, so the biggest way you can help Susie Q tonight is by hosting a party. That is the biggest way you can help her, and really, helping her fill that calendar and getting host coaching off on a really good start. So good job. Congratulations. Does anybody else have a win for the week that they want to share? It could be anything.
I'll share because after the training, I got the inspiration from, is it Erin who's in Eugene?
Yeah.
And I reached out to several families at my kids' school because we are all developing ways to raise funds for a family who had a tragic accident over the holidays. Sadly, their daughter is still there where they were on vacation because she's been in the hospital and is going to come home in a wheelchair. And they're sorry to tell such a sad story, but the families are trying to rally and help them raise money for the medical care that's not covered. And so I have about 5 or 6 people wanting to host some different freezer meal workshops so that I can donate the proceeds to their family, and then everyone wants to donate 1 meal each from their 10 meals. So it was great. I had a huge response from the small school.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And that's such a big, they're going to have to redo their house.
They're going to have to move. They have a very vertical house. So yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so fantastic. And Erin Cunnings does a lot of fundraisers with groups, and she was sharing, what she does and how she does that. And wow, Carrie, that's awesome that you just took it and ran with it. And there's something about being of service, you guys, that it just makes it so much easier to talk about it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, it's not about
definitely.
us. Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That warms my heart. I'm so, it's such a sad story. But that's really great that you found a way that people can contribute.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a huge win. Huge. Okay, well, we will go ahead and get rolling on our call. And again, thank you, Cindy and Carrie, for sharing. Before we get started, we want to take a few minutes, and we have some nuggets to share with you today, but we want to hear from you. Like, is there something in particular that you're bumping up against? Is there an objection that you've heard more than once or twice or 3 times? Is there somebody that you is on your chicken list that you want to contact, that you are not doing it scared and something's stopping you? So throw it out there. Is there something we can help you with that you want to bounce off the group? Nobody's having any problem. Everybody's saying yes, that you're asking to join? That's awesome. Wow. We are doing a great job on this series. You guys just want me to roll into the training?
Hey, how about, no, because I got one.
Okay.
Let me turn my thing on really quick. Where am I at? So I can see you guys. Hi.
Okay.
So I think the biggest objection I'm getting lately would be just that they feel like they can't take on one more thing, or they just don't have the time. Like the time factor is big for a lot of people. So I would say that's my number one objection that I keep hearing this last month.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm to a point where it's like, well, not to a point, but I guess the only thing I can think of is like, okay, well, I guess it's not their time, you know, instead of being pushy. But then also, how would you go about, I mean, I guess, how would you guys go about
I love that.
Overcoming.
I love that objection. I'm so glad you brought it up, because I'm actually going to tie that into the training, and we'll use that as our example. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to roll with that. So thank you, Maria, for sharing. We know that we all signed up for this series knowing that we needed to sponsor and build a team to become a team leader and to promote and to get that pay raise. And for Carrie, this is especially motivating, I'm sure, because she has more money to give away if she's a team leader than she does as a representative level. And it's interesting how when we take our own, what we get out of it and put it aside and go, you know what, I can give more to this family if I'm a team leader. And it makes it easier to call people. It makes it easier to talk about it when we do that. And you have a reason for that. So even in this group, you can say, hey, you know, you may be interested in the business for the business, but this is another thing that it will help with. And so you've got a lot of talking points with this. So we want to remind you that people sign up for different reasons, and whatever your reason is, it may not be the reason why somebody else wants to join. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you have those 5 things in the back of your head. So income. Some people sign up just for income, some just for the fun of it. They need that, the fun in their life. Some people for the community part, some for the personal growth. And I'm missing one. So we have income, fun, community, personal growth. What's the other one? I'm totally blanking. Okay, well, it's not important. If anybody thinks of it, please shout. So there's different, the point is there's different reasons why people start. And one thing that people need to know is that you can make a meaningful income here, and that WildTree is situated right now in a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so there's, in fact, Carrie just posted something which was so great about how like the other meal planning companies like HelloFresh and Plated, they started off in a deficit. Like they started off like not with the best marketing plan. They really got out there, but they don't have what people need. We have what people need. We have the app, we have meal planning, we have organic certified, we have gluten-free certified, we have kosher certified, we have peanut-free. We have this one-on-one help for people, and we could tailor it to their needs. So remember that when you're talking to people and you say, we're in a bulletproof industry, you guys, we really are, because this is something that people need. We're not going backwards where people are thinking, you know what, this organic stuff is not working out for me. I want to eat like shit again. I really want to feel crappy. That's not going to happen. I want to spend more on groceries like I used to. I want to eat out more. It's not going to happen. We are on a trend that is it's the new way. And so we have when you share that with people, maybe not in those exact words, but when you share that with people, they have this big aha. I want to be part of a billion-dollar industry. I want to be a part of something that's huge and growing, and WildTree has something that everybody else doesn't have. So kind of keep that in mind. And so when we're going through this, and we're going to get in, Mandy has a segment, and it's going to be me again, and I'm going to fit in that I don't have time, that objection. So we will be coming back around to that. So I'm going to turn it over Mandy now, and we're going to talk about 2 ways to build.
Okay, sorry, I have you on mute because my dogs like to be noisy. Okay, so 2 ways to team build. It really comes down to your contacts, and that's your contact list of 100 that you all start with and that all of your new reps start with, and your parties. So those are virtually the two platforms that you can start team building. Your contact list, we've talked about this on several of our calls. It's in our new rep strong start training, and it really is a foundation to start your business off and running. When in the new rep training, we actually have said, go ahead and highlight those that you would love to invite and have on your team. That's really starting that team building concept from the very beginning. So if everybody should have made your list, we also say that you continue to work on that list as you're in your business. It is something that it's not just a one and done. You continue to look at it. You continue to add to it, because over time, it's not where you sit down one single time and start and you're done with that list. And then taking it down and noting your dream team. Has everybody looked at that list that you created in the beginning and wrote down your dream team? Really think about that, because if you haven't, you're selling yourself short of that opportunity to people that are literally right under you that could be part of your team, that you could grow with, that you could do this joy with, that you can personally develop with. All those things that are people right underneath you that you could really invite and share and change their lives too. One of the things that Holly said several times, we said it throughout the series, is do it scared. Invite those people to come to our Wednesday night Facebook Live opportunity. Even if you're like, I don't know, I'm kind of scared. Do it scared. And if you need to, write that on a Post-it and put it up wherever you need to. Do it scared. And I actually tell my 4-year-old this concept after we learned it from conference in July. Is I tell her that all the time. She's like, I'm scared. I was like, baby, do it scared. You can do it. You're strong. You're brave. You got it. And the same concept goes to you and myself. Is doesn't matter how old you are, we still have that fear. And if we let fear stop us, we're literally limiting ourselves on our personal thoughts. So do it scared. It's a good reminder to put Post-it notes around and kind of just give yourself that like pep talk that you need. One of the things too is that is important here is there's always going to be an elephant, not always, there's sometimes that elephant in the room, you know, like you want to share it, but you're like, do I not? And 98% of the time, you're going to talk yourself out of it. So I'm actually going to share a story after I talk about the different points here for you team building about how I came into WildTree, and you guys would probably be pretty shocked of how I was brought into WildTree and what it really brought for my family. So I'll share that when I'm done with this, but I want to share several different ways. Your contact list, your funnel, things like that. Okay, so when we're looking at our contact list, it's inviting people to learn more. One of the things is that you don't want to assume and you don't want to answer the questions for them. So a perfect example is, I heard this at one of my very first conferences and I was like blown away because I was like, oh my gosh. So I oftentimes will answer questions for people in our minds. So I'll say, oh, she doesn't need the opportunity. She has more than enough money. Oh, she doesn't need the opportunity. She has enough on her plate. She's too busy. Oh, she doesn't need this because X, Y, Z. You will come up with 482 reasons of why they don't need it. But in reality, you're limiting yourself and you're not allowing them that opportunity to answer that question for themselves. So one of the things I heard at one of my first conferences, and it totally blew me away, was one of the girl's friends was really well to do. Her husband was a renowned doctor. She was a stay-at-home mom. She really honestly did not need the money. So that person never asked her to join her WildTree team. Turn around a few months later, this lady actually joined another direct sales company, and it had nothing to do with money. 100% had to do with about giving back. She donated 100% of her commissions, so everything she worked for, to a charity in another country that was near and dear to her. So in reality, if you answer the question like, nope, she doesn't need it because she has enough money, or she has satisfaction in what she's doing, or she loves being a mom, she doesn't need anything else, you're answering a question that could be a totally wrong answer. So really giving yourself that opportunity, take a step back, let them answer that question for themselves and not you doing it for them. And not really assuming. The same thing with letting them answer the questions. Some people come to Wild Tree for community. Some people come to Wild Tree for money. Some people come to Wild Tree for sheer need of something more. And they may not even know what that is. The key thing here is that you ask the question and you shut up and listen. And this is really hard. And I literally have to bite my tongue sometimes when I do this because I want to talk. I want to share everything that's great and why I think they should be here and blah, 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 and just vomit. But it's really like, hey, have you thought about doing what I do? And shut up and listen. And a perfect example is I asked one of my hosts that, like, she loves Wild Tree. She's like, you know what? I totally have. Now's not the good time. We're really busy in the season of busy, but my daughter's starting school next year and it will be a different ballgame. So can you follow up with me then? And I was like, oh my gosh, had I answered the question of she has enough money, she is super happy where she's at, I would have never known that. So I put her in my planner of my funnel list to follow up with. Okay. And I'll talk about what that funnel list is in a little bit too. Inviting people to learn more, personally inviting, making that connection with people, call, text, email. I thought of you because, or do you know anybody that'd be interested? I know you live in this area of whatever that meaningful, you're building that relationship. And elephant in the room. So let's talk about that a little bit because that goes right here with personally inviting. There's so many people that you have in your phone or on Facebook or emails or whatever it is that you haven't connected with in a while, but you think that this might be for them. It might be that they're busy. It might be that they are in a new season of life and their kids are in school or whatever it is. It's really stretching yourself and going out of that like comfort zone and reaching out to that elephant in the room or reaching out to that person you haven't connected with in a while and really saying like, okay, this may totally be from left field, but I thought of you because I know you are a rock star cook, or I know that you would love these dinner time solutions, or I know that your kids are back in school and I know that you love helping other people. Whatever it is, you're really allowing that elephant room in this to like, you're crushing it and you're addressing it for what it is. So that's super important to remember too, as you're inviting people. Don't just go to the people that are comfortable, your best friends, your moms, your cousins, your sisters. Go to those people that are like your stretch. So those are like your outer circle. So you have your circle, your initial contact list. Within your inner circle, you know, those people who are your reliable people. Then you have that outer circle. Don't hesitate to reach out to those people and put people on that outer circle list. Really think about who do you know. There's more people than you know when you start making that list. That contact list, also you invite them to our Simple Healthy Facebook opportunity, which is every single Wednesday evening. As team leaders, that should be something on your forefront that you should be inviting people, at least 2 people every single week. Following up with people. There's people that are in that group. Who have you invited that you could follow up with? Because they may not have been ready when you invited them a month, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months ago, but they might be ready now. And if you don't follow up, you will never know if this is their time. And it's really also, this is one thing that I like to share too, is people have already told you they're interested or they want to learn more. You are 100% failing them if you choose not to follow up with them. They've told you they're interested. If you choose not to follow up, that's your failing at following up and connecting with them and doing what they asked you to do. It's not being pushy, but instead you're following up with something that they already expressed interest in. And if now's not the time for them or it's not the right fit, that's okay. Either way is fine, but you need to follow up. You won't know the answer unless you follow up, okay? Perfect example for that is I've had a customer who said she was going to join since, oh my gosh, August. Then October was her time. December was her time. And I just messaged her to say, hey, I'm ready when you are. It has to be the right time for you. So just let me know. And she messaged me. She's like, I'm actually signing up this week. So if she does or not, but that following up is that key and not letting her go, letting her know she's important. And no matter what way she decides, it's okay that you're taking your personal feelings out of it. Everybody should be in that Simple Healthy opportunity. I will post that. We posted in the new reps training. We posted in our personal groups as well all the time. So make sure that you're continuing to invite people to that. Okay, so I kind of got off.
And it's also, I just want to add, in the leaders in training page, it's a recommended by admin at the top. You guys could just click on that if you haven't been on there.
something that you could easily say is like, hey, Sally, I'm not sure if you saw, but I've joined Wildtree and I'm actually really excited about it. And I'm tracking for my first big promotion. You're stating exactly what you need. There's no hidden agenda right now. And I think that you will really do well at this. And I would love for us to do this together. Would it be okay if I added you to our opportunity group? It's a little info about the business. You can check it out. We can talk a little bit more after, and make sure you schedule that time. Again, it's really sharing, stating your intentions like, hey, I think you would love this and I'm working towards this goal and it's something I thought of you. Really sharing that. If you have to talk, so you have to talk about people, constantly be talking about this. I mentioned in my demo, I mentioned at the parties, I go back to my customer care surveys, really keeping track of those things and writing them down. That's called your funnel list. When I talk to anybody about the business, I put them in my funnel list. For me, I like to keep that in my paper planner. That's what works for me. Some people keep it in their Google whatever Drive. Some people, whatever works for you, doesn't matter the organization of it. What matters is that you keep the list. If you do not keep a funnel list, you will always think you have nobody that's interested. When in reality, if you kept a funnel list, you realize like, oh, I talked to this person 3 months ago. Oh, I talked to this person. You have it all set up for you that you can always go back to. And it also could be like, hey, I know it's been a while, but you were interested at one point, wondering where you stand with that. I would love to have you on my team. Really taking that. Don't wait until later in the month or when you see them at a party. Connect with them now. Take people. It takes people about 5 to 12 contacts or times to make that commitment. So the longer you delay, the longer it waits for them to sign up and join us. Don't make the $1 million mistake and not asking a friend and see her sign up with someone else. I don't know who've if you guys have seen that yet, but it happens. Or people in your list. Like I had a perfect example and I messaged Holly. I was like, oh my gosh, I did my training with this girl and she went somewhere else to a different party because we're in different circles. And now she signed up with someone else. Like, oh my gosh, I totally missed this opportunity. So learn from the mistakes we make and hopefully you don't make those same mistakes too often, but really go through those people. Who's busy? Where are they at in their life? Who do you think would love this or even need some Wildtree? Okay. So that funnel is really, really, really important. Who has a funnel list? Go ahead, take yourself off mute. Let us know. Yes, I have a funnel list, or no, I need to work on it. Christine, no. So that's something that you need to add to you have your contact list of 100. Awesome. So now you need to make a separate list for your funnel list. And they're two different things. So your contact list, you're circling those who you would like to invite. They're kind of like your big dream big team. And then your funnel list are those who you talked about, who you've invited, who you are really following up with. So you have a following up. Carrie?
Yes.
You have one.
I'm used to doing that in my coaching business. So yeah, I have that. And I have a separate one going for Wildtree.
Perfect. And do you have anything that you want to share about yours or how it's worked or anything you noted about the funnel list?
Just that it's great to keep it on you because you just don't know when you're going to like open a relationship anywhere, like a conversation. And depending on how the conversation goes, it's definitely a way to not just expand your network, but to get to the next conversation more quickly if you're really clear what you said to them the last time or what they said to you.
Yeah.
I like it. I like keeping little notes about like something specific they said. Sorry, there's the noise again.
No, you're okay. So yeah, that's totally true. I love that you said that. You make notes.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's another reason why I always keep on my old planner so then I can just keep going back to them. And I just keep rolling people forward too as I'm talking to them. And then I go back and just whatever organization works for you. I know some people do it on their Google Calendar or Google Drive or whatever. That works as well. Anybody else want to add anything? So if you don't have a funnel list, that is definitely something on your action steps that you need to start working on right away. Going through those contact lists of 100, going through who you can invite. The opportunity is tomorrow, Wednesday at 8:30 Central and then 6:30 Pacific. So definitely connect with that, okay? Recruiting your hosts. You guys, we chatted about this in the beginning of our call. Energy around that. There's fears that people are signing up. One, will I be supported? We are here to support you, to support your new reps. And will I get the bookings? So talking to your host at 3 different times, when she books, when you get to her house, and after the party. A lot of people feel in the very beginning that you're giving away your business, but in reality, you're building your business. So it's shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundancy. You're going from, I have this small business to I have this big business and it's growing. And if you shift your mind shift to I'm growing and I'm helping other people grow, because we rise by lifting others, and that's 100% what it is when you recruit your hosts and those around you that are on your contact list. Very rarely is someone going to find you on the internet and reach out to you and join your team that's not in your circle. But in reality, look at how many circles that she could get off of that one circle that you probably would have never tapped into. So now she gets to do that, and you still have all these branches in your tree that you can reach out to and connect with, okay? So that's super important. Do not give her the business unless they are willing to get bookings on the calendar at the party and willing to do them. So what I've learned in the beginning is when I've done that, I was like, here's the bookings, and I wasn't on top of making sure they are keeping those bookings, and they dropped them. And so I've learned that I really need to foster that, really work with that. And that's where your upline comes in too, who you coach with in the series, is that they can help you walk through that and what it looks like and how to make sure that they keep those bookings to have a strong starting business. Okay, so the very next thing, so we talked about the funnel. When you're at the event, when you're at any party, there's 5 top things that you do at your parties for recruiting. So we talked about your contact list. Now talking about parties is talk about it in your demo. You're always talking about recruiting. My upline, when I first started, she had said, hey, I said, oh, do you know what? I can sell the shit out of this product, but I'm not going to team build. I flat out said word for word, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, that's great, but you still need to share because you never know who's interested. I'm like, whatever, fine, I'll do it. Like, I'll just briefly jump over it if I need to. In my very first party, I had someone come up and say, I'm interested. I'm like, what? You are? And I was like shocked. Like, what do you mean you're interested? Like, I barely touch on it. And what I realized is I was answering the question for them. I was being selfish and not wanting to team build and share with other people. And so that really was super eye-opening for me. It may not be your first event. It may be your 6 events in. It may be 12. It doesn't matter. The whole thing is that you need to continue to plant those seeds and you need to continue to share. So power in your pitch. Have that confidence. Why do you love WildTree? What is it that you love about WildTree? And what do you love about being here? Whether it's income, whether it is community, whether it is that you're working on you, whatever it is, helping others. Okay, so there's that. Customer care surveys. Do not ignore if it's a 0 or 1, because people are sometimes have that fear of being like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for it, or I want to learn more, but I don't want to really tell her. So use your customer care surveys, but ignore if there are any numbers low, and ask everybody. Asking everybody, have you thought about doing what I do? Point blank asking them, no matter what. Have you thought about doing what I do? I love that you had such a great time tonight, and your personality is great. I think you do great at this. Giving them information and asking for referrals. I said everybody now in our new catalogs has that whole opportunity side. So right there in itself, you have an amazing recruiting resource right at your fingertips, okay? Asking for referrals. Do you guys know anybody who would be interested in this? I have one area that is about 30 minutes from me, and I spend a lot of time there. And I say, you guys, I keep driving here, and I would love to team build in this area because there's a huge need. And so if you or know anybody that would be interested in this, I would love to talk to them. If it's the right fit, great. If not, no big deal. And we can find that out. And remember, your actions speak louder than your words. Check your energy. Are you having fun? Are you making your job look easy? Are you acting desperate and being like, bleh, throwing up everything on them, all your information all at once? You could do this, this, and this, or you could do this, or you could do that, or you like really check yourself and your energy. Really knowing like it's okay to be nervous, but just being aware, like, look, I love what I do. Like, there's no sense in being frantic. And especially if your host is frantic, you need to make sure you bring that down as well. And schedule the follow-up calls with anybody who has interest. Schedule those right away. When I'm at the party, I literally pull out my phone, because I schedule all my calls on my phone. I say, hey, so it looks like you have a little bit of interest. I have some time tomorrow to chat. When would be good for you? Morning, afternoon? Perfect. I'm going to plug you in, and I'm going to send you a quick reminder. I also let everybody know that I call from a Wisconsin phone number, so they're not alarmed. So I say, go ahead, plug my number in your phone right away. I do that right away, because then I don't have to worry about getting it on the phone with them. I already have that scheduled, and that's something that has been a big game changer in my business, is that I schedule that right away. I ask for that follow-up right away, okay? The one thing I just want to share before I switch over to Holly is how I came into this business. And a lot of people don't know this, but I think what's super awesome about it is that it really shares the elephant in the room, reaching out to people you haven't connected with in a while. So my upline was actually my college roommate in Minnesota. And I moved to California probably 6 years after college. I haven't talked to her in a while, but she messaged me randomly on Facebook after I had my little girl. And she said, hey, I just was at conference and they were talking about how California is like this wide open area. Do you know anybody that's interested? The very first thing I want you to know is she actually had no intention of asking me. She answered the question for me because she knew I was a nurse and I was a new mom, so she didn't think I'd be interested. So she really answered the question for me. But she said, do you know anybody that'd be interested? I'm just trying to grow my business. I decided to take the leap of faith, stay home full time with my kids this year. And I messaged her back and I said, hey, thanks so much for thinking of me. It's totally not my jam. I don't do sales. I'm a nurse. I make good money. I'm actually going back to work in a couple months after maternity leave. I said, but I'll ask my neighbor. She's a stay-at-home mom and who knows, she might be interested. And so I asked her and she totally laughed and she's like, no, I hate people. I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, great. So it kind of just left at that. But then I started doing some research about the mealtime solutions with Wild Tree and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I could do this. So I ordered a bunch of stuff. This was August. And finally in October, I kind of was tossing the idea around. And I was like, I think I'm just going to join to help other busy nurses. I was going back to work November 17th. I joined October 31st. I launched in November and into December, and I had my first workshop in January. And from that very point, I started growing my business because it was what people needed and wanted. So the reason why I share that story is because don't answer questions for people. Really write down anybody and everybody who's in that circle and think outside your initial circle. Think big. Who were you good friends with long ago? Who do you know? Any of those questions. Okay. So really think about that and don't ask the question for them. Holly?
Agreed. Awesome. Does anybody have any key learnings they want to share real quick on that? On what Mandy just went over? Is there something that she said that you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard that before, but this time it clicks, or something new? Or think of somebody that you want to talk to about the business?
Yeah, as I'm listening, my head is spinning with all these people that I'm going to add to my list. So thank you, because there's always more people.
That's awesome. Fantastic. That's really good.
You guys can't always assume too that just because you post about it on Facebook, people see that you're doing it. Sometimes they don't ever see that. Just because you post in your customer group, again, people don't always see that. Like I've had someone be like, hey, do you have a keto workshop? I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like I posted about that several times. Yes, but she never saw those. So it's really important to remember, like continue to share, reach out and connect with those people.
Awesome. Christine?
Yeah, I have a college roommate that I recently got in touch with in the last year or two. And I remember she had a peanut allergy and it was a big deal. So I'm definitely going to reach out to her and she just got laid off too. So.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, good. I'm glad that came to mind. Now, one thing that Mandy said that her sponsor, Melissa, did was, well, the way I would phrase it, if I would have been Melissa, was this, you approach it like this may be for you, but if this isn't for you, it's not for everyone. You may know of somebody. So making sure to ask for that referral at the same time you're talking to them about it is really important. And sometimes people go, but wait, what do you mean somebody else? Like I want to do this area. Like why would, you know what I mean? So people get kind of protective about it and go ahead and start because they know that somebody else is going to at some point. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so
I have
guys,
a question.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So if, like, say you're reaching out to somebody in high school or college or way back when, and you really haven't talked to them first, would you initiate a conversation with that first, or would you initiate it? Like, can I share Wild Tree with you in our mealtime solutions? Like, which?
I love the, I know this is out of left field. I know this is completely out of left field, but you came to mind because. And it could be starting with mealtime solutions for sure. It doesn't have to start with business if you don't want to. If you feel like, you know the person and that would be a better in, would be to talk about the food or meal prepping or the app or whatever it is. And it can be in your another conversation. Sometimes it's a matter of like, I thought of you because, and it's the business, and that's where you want to start. Does that answer your question? Oh, Maria froze. Everybody, no?
No, you're good.
Maria?
I think she
Okay.
froze. I think that is,
Okay.
and also too, you have to kind of feel that out. Like, what kind of person are they? Like, would they know that you're trying to would they feel like you're trying to BS them? Or like, if someone messaged me like, hey, how's your family? And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, let me share this with you. I'd be like, oh, that's why. Instead of just coming straight to the point, I'm a shoot it to you straight type of person. So that's my jam. Like, hey, I have been following you on Facebook, your family. I see you're a new mom. That's so awesome. How's it going? I just wanted to share this adventure that I'm on. And I think it'd be something I would love to share with you. So I'm gonna shoot it to you straight. Like, I know it's totally from left field or whatever it is, like really being super honest about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But some people, it may be, they may come to mind for like the peanut allergy, and you may want to start with food and say, and, this is totally out of left field, but we have this incredible business opportunity too. So I think we could lead, not necessarily just with business opportunity, but I love the phrase, this may be coming from left field, and the reason why I thought of you. So I think that's important to do. So my part here is, I know we've done training on meaningful conversations and we really want to listen and not just talk. And Mandy already talked about some of that. But I want to talk about objections and kind of how that conversation sounds. And sometimes if we're not truly listening to the question and getting more information before answering, sometimes we are coming up with an objection that they didn't even think of and was not their concern. So this is where context is really, really important, and asking a question after question after question to really understand what it is that they're asking. And this is where, and now Maria's gone, but hopefully she'll listen to this. I'm so busy. I don't know how I would fit this in. Finding out what busy means. What does busy look like? Because I will tell you that a lot of times busy is good because that means they're in front of more people. So if you're in front of more people, like I have, 3 kids and they're each in 2 sports and blah, blah, blah. Well, then you're probably sitting with a lot of moms and dads during practice and during games and during, team events, and you work during the day. Oh, great. Because that means that you have a big funnel during the day of people that you're around or with or whatever it is. So getting people to see that maybe their busyness is good because you're around more people. And this maybe not everybody wants to have a full load of parties. Sometimes this would be somebody that sharing the app would be their jam. It would be because they're around all these people, helping people with mealtime solutions through the app is something that they would want to spend more time on, that they could do while they're around all these people. So find out what that busy looks like. Find out, because does anybody else get the I'm busy objection? Yeah? Okay. All right. So
All the time.
all the time, right, Carrie? Yep. So find out, dig down the context. So think of whatever their objection is an artichoke, and you need to get to the heart of that artichoke. And each leaf that you pull back is a question, and it's getting you closer to it. So tell me what's busy. Tell me what your day looks like. You are going to be able to help them see how Wild Tree Business would fit into that. And sometimes it's one-on-one meal planning consultations. Sometimes they can only do maybe if they came to a party like on a Thursday night, they think that all parties are Thursday nights because they don't know any different, and maybe they can do one Saturday morning brunch. So find out, oh yeah, you know what, I can't do it because I work Monday through Friday nights. There's no way I could do a business like this. You could do stuff during the day, you could do stuff on the weekends. So peel back that layer of what busy looks like, and then ask, how much time do you think a business like this would take? Because again, you need to find out what they're thinking. Because if you answer with, oh, you're so busy, but it takes this many hours, or it takes this amount of time, whatever it is, you could be so off base of what they were thinking, especially if when you ask, how much time do you think it takes? And then the next question I'll ask is, if you did do a business like this, how much money would you want to make? What would make it worth your time? Because some people, you guys, seriously, it's $200 a month. They want to pay for a house cleaner. And some people, they want to replace a full-time income. So how much time does it take? And I need to make $1,000 a month. You cannot tell somebody how much time it takes unless you find out what they think, what they're busy, what makes them so busy, and what income they would need to make this worth it. So you need to really feel really good about what answer you're giving, to not open up just another can of worms and not get down to what it is. Because I've had people that say, I am so busy, there's no way I could do this, and I could do weeknights. Well, none of that. You can do this. But if I wouldn't have asked questions, I wouldn't have found out that was what it was, and I wouldn't have been able to offer. You can do it in the day. You could do it on weekends. Okay. And you don't have to do all parties. There's so many. That's one of the great, it's kind of a double-edged sword. So with the Wild Tree, we have so many opportunities to make money and share through our meal planning app, through website, through Facebook parties, through tasting parties, through events, bazaars, vendor events, through freezer meal workshops, through combo parties. That's great. But the other side of that is it's a lot, and people think they need to learn all of it. You don't. So you really hone in on what works for them, what's going to work in their schedule, what makes sense on income, and really hone in on that, as opposed to vomiting all the opportunities with Wild Tree. And that's where the golden rule and the platinum rule comes in. And I know that we've talked about this before, but the deal is we all grew up with the golden rule: treat others how they want to be treated. How you want to be treated. Treat others how you want to be treated, which there's kind of 4 main personality types in the world, 4 main biologies in the world, and you're one of the 4. And if you treat others how you want to be treated, you're not identifying with 3/4 of the population, only with 1/4. So that's where the platinum rule comes in. You treat others how they want to be treated. And if you're truly listening when they're talking and not worried about what you're going to say next, and not trying to identify with them and relate to them, like if you're truly listening and you're treating them and coming to the table with how they want to be treated, you're going to have a completely different outcome on these conversations. So one thing that we do is when some people ask a question, we feel the need to just completely vomit Wild Tree on them. Like if they say, how much does it cost? So how much time does it take? Oh, well, let me tell you, some reps spend 5 hours a week. Some reps spend 40 hours a week. Some do this, some do that. You could do this, you do that. That's like so much information. Or how much does it cost to get started? $129 plus shipping. It's not $129 plus shipping plus $14.95 for this website and your app and this and that. And it's, we go into this whole thing where they don't even care about that stuff or want to know yet. So only answer what they're asking, and then meet them where they're at. Make sure that you're doing a pull energy and not a push energy. And when you vomit too much information, that's a push energy, and it makes them think they need to do a lot more research than what they've done. So for an example, with Cindy, her gal just went in and signed up. That is the best thing in the entire world, because we're not busy muddying the water and opening up cans of worms that didn't need to be open to start with. And then, like Mandy was saying, everybody deserves to be presented the business opportunity. And it's like anything else. practice, it's practice. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable at first. The more you do it scared, the easier it gets. And when you put what it will do for them in front of what it will do for you, it makes it so much easier. So like Carrie right now has an opportunity, and I hate using this as an example because somebody is in horrible, I mean, that's tragic what happened, but she could take herself out of the equation and make it about with her giving back. She can give back more by being a team leader and helping others build a business. And maybe they want to do the same or for another reason. So it gives us a reason to talk about it. And so it's not picking and choosing who you talk to. You offer it to everyone, especially your hosts and your guests and your funnel and everybody. And think about it. It's like if you were in a room full of people, so there's 20 people in a room and you had a plate of cookies. You wouldn't go around and go, would you like a cookie? Oh, you look like you don't eat cookies, so I'm not going to ask you. Would you like a cookie? You look like you eat cookies. Oh, but I'm not going to ask you because I know this and you work too much and you probably don't want a cookie because you can't exercise, right? So I'm not going to offer that to you. So think of it as a plate of cookies. You're being so rude if you don't offer it to somebody because you're prejudging. Everybody wants a cookie. Hello. So that is so think about that. The next time you hesitate in offering it to somebody, it's like, ooh, that's really kind of rude. I need to offer them the cookie. And they could say no if they want to. Again, follow up. Follow up is absolutely crucial. I know Mandy talked about this. I'm just going to say, you guys, it could take up to 12 times to get somebody on board. If I went through and how many times it took to follow up with somebody, everybody's life changes every 3 to 6 months. And it could be something pretty big. Loss of a job, gain of a job, graduated college, going to college, had a baby, kids are now out of the house, husband retired, whatever it is, it changes. So that's why follow-up is key. So Mandy's going to go into call to action. We're wrapping up the call. We are right on time. We have 5 minutes. So I'm going to turn over to call to action, Mandy, and then we'll see if anybody has any questions.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I had to step away for a second because my peanut needed me from school. So, okay, call to action. Continue with bookings. Your month is not over. Your month is not set in stone. If you've gotten cancellations or people have moved, now is the time to continue to work through that and continue to push in. Okay, so I'm going to say it, and we're going to say it over and over again throughout the month. The month is not over until it is 12 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time on January 31st. Okay, so don't give in. Now is the time, if you're looking at the month, end of January into February, now's the time if things haven't gone as you planned, now's the time to be on hold, create plan A, create plan B, and really connect with your upline about that, because that's what we do. And that's what we've learned to do well in this business, and why we've been successful is because we've looked at it and realized, oh, that plan's not working. Let's try something else. And then we come up with different suggestions. We have different strategies. We have those options in our pocket. Okay. So continue to get bookings. Those parties that close or that are in February, the first 2 weeks of February, can close in January. I'll tell you a little secret. You have 100% control of when you close your parties, you guys. So if you need to close it a few days before to hit January numbers, you close it a few days before. Set yourself up. Now, here's the deal. If you have a party that's in February and you want to close it in January, and then you don't get the response that you want, or you want to continue to invite, you can still do that. But set your RSVP date for what you want. You have control of that, okay? Make sure that you're plugging into the LIT calls and series and stuff like that, so you can hit your first month team leader numbers January to go to Leadership Rise in Vegas. Reach out to all your past hosts. If you already have had a lot of hosts, or some hosts, reach out to them. You probably missed some people. Anybody who hasn't, or who has scheduled and you didn't get a rebooking and a redate schedule, connect with those people before before the bonus host rewards slip through your fingers. Connect with those people. Okay. Anybody that has in the slightest expressed interest in hosting or helping you with your business, that's something you could do. Self-host as well. That's a key there too. Invite everybody to invite people to the Wednesday opportunity call. Ideally, everybody who is especially leader or working for a team leader should be inviting at least 2 people every single week. because it's the numbers. The more you invite, the more that join your team. Not everybody's going to join your team that you invite. You're just sharing with them. If it's a good fit, then great. If not, no big deal. There's other people that you can connect with, and they can be great customers. And continue to working towards your 6-8 parties, and really fill in your calendar now and into February and even into March to get you that strongness. But remember, those first 2 weeks of February, you can close it in January to hit those numbers in January. If you need help strategically breaking it down and how to make that happen, that's what you do on your coaching calls. Again, that's our strength. That's what we do. We had to do it for ourselves. We help other new reps and launch it, or leaders and so on and so forth do that. So that's what we're here for. I think that is it. Funnel list. If you do not have that funnel list, Christine, we talked about that, and whoever else, get that. That's part of your action steps as well. Make sure you work on that funnel list and get that up and running. Holly, am I missing anything?
Nope, I think that's it.
Awesome.
Super excited for January. A lot, usually the last half of the month is where everything comes in. The fat lady has not sung. We still have lots of time to make it happen. So please reach out if you need anything. We want to hear your successes and stuff on the Facebook page too. So please share in there, or if you have any challenges that you need help with, feel free to post on the LIT page, because there's a lot of people in your exact same boat. So that's what I have.
All right, you
Thanks
guys.
for joining, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk
Thank
next week.
you.